7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are you listening?
Ricky J. Sports.
What is going on, my fellow YouTubers? This is Ricky J, baby, from Ricky J Sports. We are hanging out at the UFC gym with Josh St. Pierre and Tyron Woodley. And recently, the UFC EA Sports team released update number 6. And with that update, they released some new taunts. And GSP, he's got the old Oos taunt right there, but he also has the old GSP jump taunt, or I like to call it the Jean-Claude Van Damme takedown defense from Bloodsport when he fought Kung Lee. I don't know if you guys remember that, when Van Damme just leaped in the air and Kung Lee kind of crawled under him. And I was wondering in the game if it's possible if GSP can basically vault over his opponent and his opponent could crawl under him. So we're gonna try that right here. And we got Woodley, a great wrestler. And the thing is, if you guys could do this, man, you know, I've been doing a lot of challenges lately and I'm glad you guys have enjoyed it. Now I issue a challenge to you guys. If you guys could do this in a fight where GSP jumps up right there and then your opponent crawls under you, that would be amazing. But I don't know if it's possible. So let's see if we could do it. So the only thing is, when GSP jumps, there's a slight delay. So see how he's at the peak of his jump right there? You need to be able to time it so it's kind of like impossible, because you gotta have to do it and then your opponent's gotta go for a takedown, if you know what I mean. But forget the talk, man. Let's try it. So I'm gonna jump up and see, that didn't work. That first try did not work. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna see. Oh, so right there it did work. There's an invisible wall. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's an invisible wall that Woodley couldn't cross, and that's because GSP was in the air in the peak of his jump, and you can't develop an animation when GSP, right there, did you see that? You can't develop an animation when GSP is in flight, in the skies, jumping up high. So I guess you can't do it. You can't do it because all that happens if you do time it properly, there's that invisible wall. So I wish, there, see that? Right there. So I wish the EA Sports UFC team could edit the game a little bit to allow some of the things that you wouldn't really see typically in a real fight, like a guy jumping under or crawling under a guy who's jumping in the air. See, I think with the new game, with EA Sports UFC 3, what's missing in the game is that wow factor. The fact that you could do things that are unbelievable in the game that you probably won't see in real life just doesn't happen. And I know some people would say, oh, Ricky, that's not realistic. But the wow factor, the things that you typically won't see in a real fight that you could see in the game, is what makes the game fun. In EA Sports UFC 2, there were some crazy things that you would see in the game, and it just made you jump out of your seat. With EA Sports UFC 3, it's very technical, but it doesn't make me jump out of my seat half the time. I found with UFC 2, I was screaming at the screen. If you guys have been with me since UFC 2, I was doing a lot of screaming at the screen, jumping up and down, because there was a lot of that wow factor that occurred in the game where you would see things that you wouldn't typically see if you were watching a UFC pay-per-view, and it would just make you excited. So I wish they added that where, you know, you can jump under a guy. But right here, they just have that invisible wall. But it just takes a little programming, and hopefully they could do that. Wouldn't that be amazing if you can jump over him and then hit him with a spinning head kick or something like that? But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. Let me know what you think about the new taunts. I think they're great, but they leave you obviously susceptible to a knockout. But anyhow, I wish they had that nice little, oh man, the avoidance where he could just roll under you, man, and it would add some craziness to the game. But anyhow, I'll stop talking. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. This is Ricky J, baby, for Ricky J Sports, and you are awesome.